Hello and welcome back to Day Trade Indy. I think we're going to have an interesting show. Kyle is on fire today, and it's a lot to take over here. Kyle, do you just want to go ahead and get us started over there? What's going on, man?
I'm more annoyed than usual.
I'm not really sure what that's saying.
So I always tell people, I'm like, I'm never really mad. Like, it takes a lot to make me mad, but I'm kind of perpetually annoyed. And now I'm more just angry. Yeah, I'm more annoyed with myself than anything, which leads us into our topic today, which is just take profits. And if anybody you know or follow or whatever, if anybody tries to tell you that you shouldn't be taking profits,
what should you tell them? Oh, hey now.
I mean, I can monetize it anyway. Yeah, I could just hear my mom, don't swear in your videos. But yeah, dude, like you right now. So the last video we did, I was talking about how I just had this weird feeling. Like our stocks just had way too good of news in a different market. We probably would have doubled. I mean, we may have like 2x'd our whole portfolio.
Yeah, because you said, 5 days we just blew an entire year's worth of what was going on and just
and it's
killed
like
us.
That Tuesday morning, it was like there was a flash sale. Like it was before. I'm like, so I don't buy stocks at the bell. I either buy them right before the bell, like 5 minutes before, because I think they have great news and they've come down to support. Or I would let it shake out. Like, I don't like to be in that first 5, 10, even 15 minutes. Because it's just like,
It's just like an all-out war.
Yeah, it's like bull traps and bear traps. And like, I don't even really like to be involved. If it's going to rip and come back, then I want to buy the dip. If it's going to tank, then I want to buy the panic sell. And, I don't really like to be in the crosshair, like in the crossfire, right? Like this.
I don't even know if that's a crossfire, man. That's an all-out nuclear bomb.
Yeah,
almost.
I mean, it's just a lot of buyers and sellers going crazy for a few minutes, and I don't know. I have never gotten a good feel for it. Unless it's a panic at the open, and then I actually get excited because if it's a good stock on a good catalyst, it'll panic. Then hopefully buyers come in and trap the short sellers, and then they have to cover, and it's like a mini squeeze. That's awesome, but you got to give it some time. But the one thing that I was sticking to my plan, but I didn't. And again, all right, like you just don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So like if I had a crystal ball, I would do it all over. I would do it different, right? Like Valentine's Day, I'd have just liquidated everything. And we'd have gone to the Bahamas for a couple months. And like we'd have just seen you in May, right? But I didn't know that you could decimate all of 2020's gains in small caps. I'm not saying the whole S&P's down, but like in the growth sector, I knew the backside of the move was fast, but I know you could just light it all on fire in like 4 business days. So we were treading water. We were up. We'd be up 20%. We'd be down 5%. We'd be up 20%. We'd be down 5%. And we were up like 15%, just trying to figure out, wade our way through this nonsense. And yeah, like the day after our last podcast, it was like I went and made coffee during the panic, during the nonsense in the beginning.
And that was like 3 minutes, right?
I mean, dude, it wasn't very long.
Maybe 5.
I mean, 5 maybe. And I came back and I was like,
reds across the board.
Why is our account down like 20? Like, what happened?
Man.
And I'm like, did I miss something? Is there now? We probably should have filmed my rant about Fintwit. I'm so over Fintwit. There's like 3 people that don't suck. Everybody else they suck. But like I have a plan. We only have like 3 stocks, right? Like we do not have a robust portfolio anymore. Everything that I was holding, I still have it's my target. It's not a. First of all, if you're the guy online or anywhere else asking somebody else what their price target is, you're doing it wrong.
Yep.
You might as well just throw up a red flag that says, I'm not willing to put in any effort. I can't learn. Spoon feed me. Oh, and by the way, please break 1 million laws. Like these guys with like 100,000 followers on on Twitter, and now they're on YouTube, whatever, right? They can't answer you. The second they tell you when to sell, they're breaking a law. They're not licensed. They can give up all this shit they built. They're just risking lighting it on fire just to give you a price target because you don't want to learn how to read a chart. Like, grow up. Second of all, if you're taking financial advice for all your money from like a cartoon character on Twitter, you're a moron. Stop it. Like, it's not cool. Stop it. Oh, here's the other thing. They're dumping on you. Dude, I can't. Today, I told you today I tweeted out this thing. I thought it was funny. Maybe nobody else did, but it's like today's alerts. 20 minutes after all the alerts, I can't believe people are selling. I'm buying all the dips. These are great prices. 2 hours after the alerts, down 80%. I can't believe the weak hands can't freaking stick it out. These bunch of crybabies. End of day. I think I'm going to focus on my career and maybe go back to, my passion. Like, if it's down 60%, why do you still have it? Why do you still have it? And anybody you follow, associate with, unless it's small, manageable amounts of money and they're just lottery tickets. Like, there's a bunch of OTCs that you can go get 100,000 shares for, peanuts. And if you don't care that you light it on fire, that's fine. No, you're gambling, and that's fine. If you're doing it as a hobby, that's whatever. But if you're like investing serious money like we are with INND, and you don't have your own plan, and they're telling you that, to diamond hand it and, just, patience pays and all, you're being lied to. They sold you their shares. If you don't know that by now, if you think the guy you're following on Twitter is a good guy, unless you've met him and he's like come over for Christmas dinner, like, you can't trust that dude, man. Like, he's just a Twitter account. And here's another epiphany that I finally realized. 99% of the 5-figure followings on Twitter were created when you couldn't lose. Everybody made money last year. Everybody was a guru. Everybody was a stock market penny stock genius. There's like 5 that know what they're talking about. Everybody else was just flipping coins and winning. So take that into consideration. I don't care if they have 100,000 followers, 30,000 followers, 200 followers, don't matter. Vet what they're saying. And if you follow anybody that says that you shouldn't be protecting your account or selling when things are tanking or taking profits when things are ripping, they are using you to get rich.
Do you think that you just didn't have like automated trading, like stop losses set up?
No, I always have mental stops. I don't put in hard stops because the algorithms will go down and get it.
Right, yeah. Because, do you think you're just not fast enough? Because when you go to your cup of coffee 5 minutes later, you should have sold everything.
Yeah. So it gets to my other point, right? So what I should have done is just sold it at the top.
Yeah.
And then bought it again at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
There was nothing based on public sentiment. There was no extra dilution. They had incredible news.
Because that's what I don't get. You get all these great news.
There was more volume than there ever has been. I knew that people would sell the news. People always sell the news. Like, I get it. I was comfortable giving back. I was comfortable just adding because I'm trying to accumulate shares. I'm not trying to day trade it. I'm trying to accumulate shares of INND. So I was thinking like, okay, well, this is my average cost. I really didn't think, based on the chart, I would get back to my average cost. I didn't think so. So I was like, okay, so we should be playing with house money from here on out. We can add dips. Now, I'm not Nostradamus. Clearly, right? Like that is an educated hypothesis based on all of the technicals that I can see and like kind of what's coming, right?
Uh-huh.
Stocks, even OTCs, aren't. I have not, and again, like you don't know until it happens to you, but I have not been in any situation where just on a random Tuesday the shit drops 30%. I hadn't seen that yet.
Right.
So 10%? Sure. It went down 10% today. Bought the dip. Averaged up. Everything's fine. I mean, it's not fine. I mean, I'm not tap dancing in the street after today, but today was managed. Everything was fine. But if you just flash sale 30%, then you can do one of two things. You can say, well, did you set a stop loss? I never set a hard stop loss. I'm never going to set a hard stop loss because the algorithms will just go down, hit it, and then cost me my run. But what you can yell at me for, and what I'm yelling at myself for, is not selling it when it was way up.
But what kind of guidelines do you use when you're way up? It's like 30%, 40, 60, 100?
Well, we never got to those. We never got that high. But typically, I would sell 50% at 25. And then
so 50% at 25%.
So I sell
up.
50% at 25% profit.
Yep.
And then I would sell 20. And if I ever get to 50%, I would sell a quarter. So
okay.
And then my new mental stop loss for the remaining quarter is at 50%. So if I get to 25%, the lowest I can make is 25%.
Right.
We haven't gotten to that threshold yet, but regardless, I know I know what the market sentiment is. I know it's tough, and there was this. So my background is sales primarily, and
you couldn't tell.
What I used to tell if you're in real sales, and I don't want to say real sales, like I've done software sales, I've been in tech, I've been in advertising, I've been whatever. If you're an A to Z salesperson and you have to like drum up your own business, it's miserable. It's miserable. So you have to make X amount of calls, X amount of emails, you have to fight through whatever. Some people want to hear from you, some people don't. It's easy to not argue, but it's easy to like sell a guy who's combative because you don't care about that guy. Mm-hmm. But if you make, 50 to 100 phone calls, 99% of the world has a tendency to take their foot off the gas for nice people. It's like this subconscious, it's almost like, oh, finally I'm talking to a guy who's not an like, okay, so like, here's the thing. Like, since he's being nice to me, I'm not going to be as aggressive as I should be to him. Like, and I always used to tell, I'm like, if you have something of value, nice guys need to buy too. So instead of taking your foot off the gas and, calling them back in a week just because you didn't want to be, salesy, mm-hmm. You should have put your foot on their neck and closed the damn thing. It's not rude. It's not, but nice. Them being nice doesn't pay your bills.
Right.
And if you have something of value, you should never feel bad for someone buying it. But it's not human nature because you're battling. It's an uphill battle until you get to that guy. Every dial you make, every ounce of effort you put in until the nice guy is miserable, and only sociopaths disagree with me. Salespeople are in it to be competitive, make more money than they should, not have to have an education, show off to your friends, live in a big house. Like, that's why you're in sales. You're not in sales because you sit down and like bang out calls. Like, crazy people want to do that. So when you get to the nice guy, you have a tendency to back off. But here's the thing. When you're on the phone, you are in a conversation and can snap yourself out of it. What I finally realized from a psychological standpoint is that in this market, I was doing that and it was turning on me so fast that I couldn't gather. So when INND went to 6 cents, it has been such a struggle. Every day I've been like mentally like, just like, holy shit, this is so hard. Like, when does it go up? Months, 60 days of just grinding it out. It rips. I got 3 hours of joy and relaxed. And what I need to do is I need to step on its neck and take my money. But you don't always get the luxury like you do in sales where you can snap yourself out of it and pinch yourself and go, oh, whoa. He just told me that he loves it, wants it, needs it, and has got to have it. And I have 50 different reasons why he needs it, and he's got the budget for it. We're buying now. We're buying today, and we're buying now. Not tomorrow. We're not going to call it back. We're not going to check with the CFO. He's the CEO. He has a credit card. We're freaking buying now.
So what kind of advice do you give then?
The advice is take your freaking profit and don't be an idiot. And anybody who tells you otherwise is a moron who's out to hurt you. They are wolves in sheep's clothing. You don't know them. They're not your buddy. They may have responded to a DM and made you feel warm and fuzzy. Quit being a frickin' puss and sell. #science. And the reason I'm so pissed off is because I didn't do it. I don't have anybody to blame. It's not the market makers, you frickin' losers. It's not market makers that make stocks go down. Bulls are cowards right now, and any short seller with money has been waiting for this day because we destroyed them for 16 months, right? 2020 was us just blowing up short sellers. Well, the smart ones and the hedge funds with all the money that have just been waiting for us to run out of steam. Well, now we sell on the first green candle, and short sellers usually, in my experience, and I'm not talking like crazy, like penny stock bonanza, rip to the moon markets, but just normal markets. Like, let's say your stock's $5 at the bell, right? Short sellers will start hammering it at like $5.25. And if there's too much buying pressure there, they may cover or double their position at $5.50. Worst case scenario, they throw the whole book at it at $6 because psychologically, integers like that are where people will sell, right? Like, they're important integers. These days, if your stock's $5 at $5.09, they're like, and they just dump everything on it. They short sell absolutely everything because longs don't have any confidence. They know you're going to poop your pants and sell, and we're accommodating them perfectly. They don't even have to wait for a little bit of run to give us, a little profit. And the big accounts, like we were talking about off camera, if we had $1 million, like if I could buy 50,000, if my average buy was 50,000 shares,
right?
I can make 3 cents
and be okay with that.
That's $1,500.
Yeah.
Well, I'll make 3 cents, 1,500, move on. Well, if you can make $1,500 a day on 3 seconds work in just the first candle, well, that's
$7,500 a week, and
yeah. But if your average buy is 1,000 shares or 2,000 shares, now 3 cents is like $15, and it's like, well, or $150, and it's like, well, that kind of sucks.
Yep.
Sorry, I thought 1 cent on 1,000 shares is $10.
Right.
So
not enough to make a difference.
Sales guy, not mathematician.
Yeah,
you know what I meant, right?
Sure.
So protecting a huge account and making it grow,
it's very different.
Is very, very different. Getting rich is the hard part.
Right.
Staying rich in this country, it doesn't, probably not all that hard.
Until you get there.
Yeah, maybe.
Different story.
Well, here's the thing. I can't wait for the podcast when it's like, okay, Kyle's rich now. Let's talk about how we continue it. Because guess what I'll be buying? Wells Fargo.
That's right.
For my 3% on $100,000.
And not worry about it. Just sit back and play
golf.
golf.
That's pretty cool. Sweet, that's $3,000. How much you make today, Kyle? $3,000. How long did you work? 4 seconds. Good earnings.
Good
That's
job.
neat. I'm really good. I'm a genius.
So take your profit.
Take your freaking
I think
profit.
you hammered that. What do you
sell half of it? This is what I truly what I wish I would have done. Because revisionist history is always 2020.
Yep.
In a perfect world, it's like I'm going to sell it 6 cents, and I'm going to sell it all, and then I have a crystal ball, and it's going to come back to like 3 cents, and I'm going to hammer it then, and blah blah blah. Right? That's not realistic. But I could sell half.
Right.
Because the truth of the matter is that if I sell it all and it keeps going up, I'm going to hate myself for that too.
Right.
So I have to find a middle ground.
Total mental game.
I have to find a middle ground that I can live with. And for me personally, selling half there saves me a bunch of heartache.
Yep.
I can then take that profit and buy even more shares, which all I'm trying to do really is accumulate shares anyway. If it keeps ripping, good for me. I still have 50%.
Absolutely.
But the absolute these OTCs, dude. The OTC Fintwit community and NASDAQ small caps you talk what do they call it, the dead cat bounce.
Yeah.
Right? It don't bounce. Like it's like the death of 1,000 knives. Like it's just it went down. Good again. Like, went down again. This Hoth, H-O-T-H today, like I was telling you earlier too, they got data back that says that they can slow down or prevent tumor growth.
That's just
in
amazing.
Cancer patients. It's a 6 million float. Well, here's the thing. There's no volume. Nobody really wants to buy anything right now.
Yep.
So the bears, they're like snipers. They're just like we were. It's just the inverse. So we were like, highest volume, biggest gapper, all the volume's going to go to there. We're going to rip it up 30%. Everybody's going to get rich, right?
Yep.
Well, now they're like, okay, well, there's 3 stocks that have any volume. Everybody's scared to death. So we're going to wait apparently 1 minute. It got 1 green candle after the bell in an uptrend.
That's
it was
amazing.
15 cents. And it got murdered. It's because short sellers, it's not market maker manipulation. Listen, I'm sure there are some spots where market makers are doing some things that are probably we don't know about, and they're definitely padding their own pockets, and I get it, right? But it's not
Do you think it's the time to actually sit out on the side? What do you think? I mean, what do you think?
I think that longs are cowards right now.
And how long do you think it's going to last?
That I don't know. Which makes it even more important to take profits. There's this stupid stock, TGGI. Oh my God, how stupid am I? So
I'd like to hear.
Okay, so this is a little bit of technical analysis without getting into like charts and how to whatever. Okay, so if you have a stock that comes up to a round number or a solid integer, right? Like if you're messing with penny stocks, half pennies, full pennies, whatever. We'll use TGGI. TGGI had a whole bunch of hype and was running towards 1 penny. It got to a penny, like 0.0099, and got rejected. The next day, longs took another shot at it. They ran it all the way back up. I shouldn't say all the way back up. I think it came back to
but a pretty good stretch.
Whatever, right? It came back a little bit. And then they ran it back up to a penny again. That second tap, if it doesn't break, get rid of it. Definitely lock up a portion. Probably all of it, especially if it's an OTC. Like I didn't have, my first real experience of diving in and learning about and understanding OTC. They're a totally different world. I mean, it's scratch off. It's scratch off tickets, right? Like some of them turn into really good companies, and you have to do a ton of research to try to figure out which one.
Right.
The only reason I like INND is because, there's a couple of reasons, but the main reason is EAR has a $2.5 billion valuation and only did $65 million in revenue last year.
Right.
INND just got a legitimate partnership with a Fortune 250, and they have a partnership with a Fortune 25 coming. And they should generate this year $21 million in revenue just off that one partnership with BJ's. Like, that's just like a rough kind of like, you know what I mean? Like through the OT. So again, now INND cannot go to. So again, you'll go on Fintwit and be like, to the moon, we're going to $5. It's impossible. It's impossible under its current share structure for it to go to $1. It cannot happen. So if you're holding for $1, you are following cartoons.
And why can't it go to $1?
Because it would be worth more than Amazon. It can't do it. 70 cents makes it the most valuable hearing aid company on the planet. So 70 cents is like, whoa, like top, like that's really, really doing it, right?
Right.
I'm looking for 20 cents. I want 20 cents. That's all I want. And then guess what? It'll come back down. It'll fluctuate. I can sell half. I can buy. I can trade around the core.
Right.
When you don't make this same mistake, it will go back to 6 cents. At that point in time, I will not be making the same mistake twice.
Right.
I just don't own any patience. Don't want any patience. Can't find the patience aisle at Walmart to purchase any patience. So the fact that I caused. I didn't make it drop, but like I could have prevented this pain that I'm feeling is what really pisses me off. I'm not mad at anyone. I'm just pissed that I didn't. It's like, you know better. So
what else you got on your list for today?
So the double tab thing here.
Because it's been just a wild ride. And then hitting the 4 or 5.
I just text you topics today. Fintwit.
I think we're going to have to start bleeping all those
fine.
things.
Bleep me away, whatever. Hey, man, this dude, one of the few that actually knows what he's talking about, he goes by Stock Lizard King. He's a dude from Boston. He's got to be like 23. Dude knows a ton about crypto. He says every other word. Millions of people watch. Who cares? We can put a little disclaimer. When I post these things, it says not for children.
Gotcha.
Sales analogy, brief technical analysis. Oh, okay. So here's the other thing. This is another psychological thing. So I was using 3-minute candles, 3 and 5 minute time frames. And I went back to 1 minute time frames because I had talked myself into the idea that it gives me, a clearer picture of what's really happening.
Okay.
All this honesty with myself pisses me off even more. Like when I say it out, like in my head, it makes me like furious. But when I say it out loud, it's just like, what is wrong with you? But what it was really doing was giving me confirmation bias and a reason to buy faster. So on a 1 minute candle, the chart's going to move much, much quicker. You're going to get 3 candle pullbacks, and it's going to give you an incentive to pull the trigger, not to wait. The longer the time frame you're utilizing,
right,
actually encourages patience. Hate that. Have to, but you are more, I say you in a general term, I am more likely to nail the bottom of the pattern in a 3 or 5 minute time frame
as compared to
than I ever would be in a 1 minute time frame.
Right.
Because when you have the 1 minute, the 3 minute, the 5 minute, and like the daily up or whatever, if you're just thumbing through them,
the 1 minute's really jumpy.
And it doesn't always tell you what the overall trend is either. So not only can a 1 minute give you an incentive to buy faster,
right,
but it also gives you a very unrealistic incentive to sell faster.
It's a 50-day versus a 250.
Yeah, right? Because
it's just smoother that way.
You can look, your 1 minute can look like it's like, holy crap, the world's ending.
Right.
But if you flip it to the 5 minute, it's still one green candle. It's just not big.
Right. But it takes out a lot of that noise.
It takes out a ton of that noise. And I had convinced myself, I don't know if I convinced myself, I was telling myself that I was missing solid entries because I would see the 5 minute go up. Right. So I wasn't buying. So there's the bottom wick and then the open of the candle. And because I wasn't fast enough, where I should have just bought it support on the 5 minute and I wouldn't have to worry about any of this, I was caught in no man's land in the middle of the body, feeling like I was confused. And then I'm like, well, if I just had the 1 minute chart up, I'd see every different thing. And it might be the 9 MA, right? Or it might be the 13 SMA right now. And I don't even know it.
Right.
So this is costing me money because then it went up and I wasn't in it. What a horrifically stupid way to think. Like that's me trying to force it to happen instead of just wait for the 5 minute to find the 50 MA.
So just a little patience.
Hammer it.
A little patience. Gives you a little insight, a little wisdom.
Yeah, man. And it's just, like I said, it's been like 60 days of patience. And then, you have those moments where you don't want to be patient anymore.
Which has been the last 2 weeks, right?
Oh, man. I'm like, I have played 25 rounds of golf.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
What's the date today in April?
20th.
It's the 20th?
Yeah.
I played 35 rounds of golf this month.
In April, 35.
There's no doubt I haven't.
Wow.
I'm midsummer tan for me. Like, I have pale skin anyway.
You're 1.75 a day.
I mean,
times 20 is 35.
All right, so back that off. It's probably like 1.1 a day.
So 22.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Whatever he said.
That's what you got to do.
That's why we bring him, yeah. You should see him. Nobody will ever see this, but when I worked for him, I was trying to get one of our employees to understand the difference between markup and margin. And Ben did this beautiful mind on a whiteboard, longhand explanation of the difference between markup and margin. And I was just sitting there going, he's good. And poor, I don't remember who it was.
Was it Nico?
No, it was
Anna?
It was Anna. Anna was just like, whatever, dude. I can calculate it.
Nobody really cared.
What are you talking about? And I'm sitting here thinking, and I think I even had the audacity to be like, no, I think you got to carry it. And you were like, are you going to question this? And I'm like, just let me get out my handy dandy thing.
But it's all good.
Oh, dude,
man.
it's like, I'm like, holy cow! Like, I failed calculus.
It doesn't matter, man. You just have to add the pluses and minuses.
No,
and multiply,
I know.
Man. It's all good.
Just like how fast you do it. And it's right
extra
every time. You're like a walking calculator.
Extra space they use to take out of your head. So
yeah. Well,
but you're doing good, man. You did a nice little rant.
And
you did a little
thing. It's going to be fine. We're going to double the account. We're going to 3x it's going to be fine. It's just annoying.
And this is like one of the best places you've been in, just like with it being hammered.
I guess like, God, I hate learning from experience. Like, oh, it's so stupid. And like, and here's the thing, like,
how dare you?
In sales, psychology, and basketball, I don't really waver in my opinion. In the stock market, I wish I had that confidence because I would have. I'm more pissed off because I don't it took me too long to realize that they don't know what the hell they're talking about anyway.
Right.
And my IQ's higher and I've never failed at anything. So why the hell would I ever trust the word of anybody other than myself? All we've ever done is win. So we might as well just go win. And it's like, why would you why would you second guess yourself now? Like you're like, because it's, it's a new thing, man.
I
know, man. But like, everybody listening to this is just as smart as the person that they're taking alerts from.
Right.
They may not have enough time to put in they may not have.
And it requires the work.
They may not have you got 6 kids, whatever. It was an old Catholic family, whatever. You got 2 kids running around. You got to get them to your son's at lacrosse. You got things to do, right? You can't sit there and thumb through charts, and maybe but you can learn the fundamentals. You can learn the basics. You can do what the hardest part is for me, which is chip away at it.
Right.
I want to just kind of throw it all at something, have it go 500%, and then kind of, then start.
I think we all do, man.
But if you can just realize that the stock market's not going anywhere.
Yep.
And right now, small ball's fine because you can treat everything like it's a learning experience. But don't throw so much money at it that it's going to hurt. Right. And don't trust somebody you've never met telling you that it's a patience play and just to buy more.
It's definitely like gambling.
Screw that guy, man.
You can't always say, hey, I got this great tip on the New York game. It's like you just can't. You can't be listening to everybody.
Again, if you want to throw lottos at it, if you got a $10,000 account and you want to put $100 in something and just
see what it does.
See what it does.
There you go.
Treat them like scratch offs if that's how you're going to approach it. But dude, those accounts that have 6-figure followers and 50,000 followers and 30,000 followers, they were active on Twitter when you could not lose. I didn't realize how good we had it, and the real OGs were, the dude from
your buddy Ross,
Investors Underground.
Yeah,
Nate. Right?
Nate. Yep.
He gets such a bad beat. He's one of my favorite follows on Twitter because he's not rude, but he's just it's not market maker manipulation, you idiots. You know what I mean? Of course I shorted it. The setup was right. Are you not here to make money? I'm not the bad. It's not me against you. I saw an opportunity
and you took it.
You guys are selling immediately, so I shorted it, or it was at the bottom of the chart, so I went long, and I had a plan, and
right.
You guys just all want to gang up, and it's like a club on Fintwit. It's like this diamond hands, patience plays, buy the dip. Well, sometimes the dip doesn't stop dipping.
Yeah, that's true.
And there's just no. Dude, if you light your account on fire because you wanted to be a part of the team that you don't actually play for, nobody's going to come replenish it and go, my bad, dude, that was a bad alert. Because here's the thing, there are wolves out there that are getting rich off of these market makers that they keep blaming everything for. It's like Fintwit's turned into QAnon. Everything's a conspiracy. It's just it can't just be the fact that, like I said, longs are completely defeated.
Mm-hmm.
They're selling for pennies because that's what the market's giving them. The hedge fund algorithms are not long right now. They're all on the short side. And the people that we decimated for a year. Let's not pretend like they weren't. Now, I don't really understand. I don't know why you would be like a perma bear. I don't know why you would only be a short seller. That doesn't really make any sense to me because, there's really good news that happens that you could ride up.
Right.
So I kind of looked at it like playing craps in a casino. Everybody hates the guy playing the don'ts.
Right.
but the don't pass is always and forever the best bet in a casino.
Absolutely.
Now, the degenerates around the table that want you to hit 6s or 7s in the point, we're hopping, we're betting the field and yos and hopping the 6s and 8s and
Hards.
$5 horns and shit. Those guys don't like you betting the dark because they have it in their head that it's like messing with the mojo or something, right? That's complete insanity. They're mutually exclusive. If I have $1,000 don't bet, you can still get rich during your roll before you 7 out, and then I just, my bet was just, better than yours. That's not how the stock market works. Like, if you get incredible news, it just seems like a good idea for us all to take it long. And then when it exhausts out, hammer the hell out of it and take it both ways. I don't care. I don't understand. I don't understand why you would want to be a short seller only, especially, but I can understand why you'd be, if you are only a short seller, I understand why you're pissed off. And why you're looking at us the same way we looked at you, like minnows and guppies, right? Like you're just looking at us like, I'm going to blow up your account. So I get it. I don't really know why we can't all get along when there's great news like on HOTH. But that's just
everybody's taking the opportunity. Whatever opportunity they see.
The market we're in.
Yeah. So do you think it's a good place to stop?
Yeah. I'm going to hammer this on one more time. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. The only thing you can be certain of is what the stock is at today. So if you're up, it is way, way, way better to be certain that you made money.
Yep.
Than even if the chart's perfect. Dude, like these things are breaking trend and just falling off a cliff. Like it is a bear market. So if you're trying to take a stock to the moon, even if you have the thesis, the chart, the sentiment, the product, the sales, the everything,
right?
It's way, 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 way better to miss out on 15% extra gains than it is to just be even and not have any gains at all.
Never apologize for a gain.
Never.
Just take the gain. Be happy with it.
Nobody ever went broke making money. You know what I mean? Nobody ever went broke taking profit. So. Gotcha. I'm probably reiterating this for myself more than anything, but if anybody tries to convince you or talk you out of it, unfollow them. They're the problem. It's not market makers. They'll have you believe that there's this cabal.
Right.
No, they had 2 million shares, had the limit order up 15%, told their 50,000 followers to run it up, and they dumped it on your ass.
Yeah, you hear that a lot.
It's just, and again, maybe you would do it too. They're not your friend. So take the money while it's there. Protect your investment until we can turn this thing around. And eventually, hopefully those algos go long and it's, then we can run it back to the upside. But in the meantime, don't let anybody tell you not to take profit at all. And anybody who does, it is the best indicator to never follow, to just get them out of your life because it's just head trash, negativity. It's nonsense.
So that's a good place to end.
It's a great place to end. Hopefully next time we've doubled the account INDs at $82.
There you go. Until then, I guess we'll say goodbye.
Later, guys.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.